Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Ontario College of Teachers 2024 virtual annual meeting of members. Before we begin, I would like to share some important information. The meeting is being hosted as a Zoom webinar. This means that attendees will not have access to turn on their cameras or microphones. This meeting features simultaneous French and English interpretation and optional closed captioning. To access language interpretation, please click on the globe icon in the meeting controls toolbar and click on the language that you would like to hear. If you are on a mobile device, tap the ellipses in the meeting controls toolbar, tap language interpretation, and then tap on the language you want to hear and click done. To access closed captioning, click or tap on the CC icon in the meeting controls toolbar. At this point, it is my pleasure to introduce Council Chair Diana Miles.
Ani, bonjour, Tanzi, wache, bonsoir, and good evening. Welcome to the 2024 annual meeting of members of the Ontario College of Teachers. My name is Diana Miles, Chair of Council for the College, and I thank you for joining us tonight. The Ontario College of Teachers acknowledges that its offices are located on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabeg, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. The college also acknowledges that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaties signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. If you're joining us today from another location, please take a moment to acknowledge the traditional territory on which you are situated. Before I move on, I'd like to provide just a few housekeeping notes. Following my introductory remarks, the college's Registrar and CEO, Linda Lacroix, OCT, will join us to highlight some of the past year's key operational achievements. You'll then hear from Keisha Lewis, the college's change management lead. She will tell you about the development and launch of the college's Focus on Teaching 2024 survey that was distributed to all OCTs in good standing last month. That will be followed by my update on the college's finances, after which Linda will join me for a Q&A and we will answer your pre-submitted questions. So let me begin. Public protection is the guiding principle behind every decision we make as Council of the Ontario College of Teachers. Our regulatory role is clearly put in our strategic plan's purpose statement. We serve the public interest by regulating the teaching profession to protect students. When I last spoke at this meeting in 2023, that strategic plan was newly approved by Council as a 5-year roadmap to guide how the college fulfills its public safety mandate. That was just 1 year ago. Since then, the college's senior leadership team, led by Linda Lacroix, has accomplished an incredible amount of work that is directly tied to the strategic plan's 4 goals. Linda will discuss that work with you in detail shortly. But first, I'd like to congratulate her and the entire college for how they've started to operationalize these goals over the past year. From daily activities such as assessing applications for certification, to launching exciting initiatives like the Enhanced Focus on Teaching survey, their thoughtfulness and care aligns with Council's vision as articulated when we voted to approve the strategic plan. Everything the college does comes down to ensuring that the public is served by OCTs committed to students and their well-being. Or as we strongly believe, students benefit when there is a certified, qualified, and competent teacher available for every classroom. Realizing that benefit is a collective goal that the college shares with our many education system partners, and reaching that goal is something for which we are all responsible. I am proud to be part of a council composed of members who are focused and intentional in how we carry out our mandate. I'm equally proud that I have the privilege of representing an organization that shares our sense of purpose. I'll close my opening remarks by thanking you for taking an interest in how the college serves the public, and I invite my colleague Linda Lacroix to provide some additional detail in how we do so. Linda, as they say, the floor is yours. You're on mute.
Thank you, Diana, for the introduction as well as the kind words. Your dedication, along with the work of our council members, exemplifies a true commitment to protecting the public interest. Bonsoir à toutes et à tous, et merci de vous joindre à nous ce soir. Your presence highlights your interest and commitment to the teaching profession. This year has been a truly significant one for the college as we acted swiftly to implement regulatory changes that reshaped critical operations. However, we never lost sight of our existing priority to streamline our processes over the past several years. As Diana pointed out, the 4 goals in our strategic plan are directly connected to how we serve the public interest. I'll explain that connection with 4 key examples. Goal 1, accountable and agile processes to certify educators to teach in Ontario classrooms. UNESCO reports that the world is facing a global teacher shortage, and Ontario is no exception. In response, the college is doing its part by certifying more teachers and collaborating creatively with our system partners while staying within our regulatory mandate. This reflects the continuation of our years-long cost-effective investments in our staff, technology to really improve our certification processes. Following the regulatory changes in 2023, we refined our processes even further. This included more staff hires, updated training and procedures, and further automation of routine tasks. Our new certification process emphasizes the applicant's responsibility to prepare their documentation before starting their online application, and it also includes convenient self-serve features that are always accessible. The results can be clearly seen in a modernized application process, shorter decision timelines, and an improved experience for applicants. The second goal is teachers who are informed of and held accountable to professional standards. Teaching is a demanding profession that relies on adherence to professional standards. They are the foundation of our profession. Since the launch of the Sexual Abuse Prevention Program, also known as SAP, in early 2022, the college has been working hard to bring about full compliance with the requirement for completion by OCTs in good standing. To date, the college's enforcement has consisted of communication and support. This has reduced incompletion to less than 2% of all members. The next phase involves robust communication with these members and also with their district school boards about the license suspension mechanism that will be in place effective July 2nd, 2025. The goal here is compliance and not suspension. There will be ample notice and opportunity for those remaining members to complete the SAP. Additionally, the timing for communication and implementation is really sensitive to the staffing timelines for our schools. It's anticipated that the result will be compliance without negatively affecting any of the schools. The third goal is efficient and proportional responses to alleged and actual misconduct, incompetence, and incapacity. This may be the most challenging time we've ever faced in regard to the volume of complaints and concerns raised about college members. In 2023, the number of new complaints we've received was the highest in our history, with 1,127 new files. That's an increase of 35% from the year before, and it's nearly doubled the number compared to 2022. And in this current year, the volume has continued to increase. Now, I want to be clear. This does not necessarily represent a proportionate increase in professional misconduct. However, it does suggest that rapid changes in technology and society are introducing additional stresses in the profession. It also indicates that both OCTs and the public increasingly trust and rely on the college for support and resolution of complaints or concerns. Now, in response to this increased volume of complaints, the college boosted temporary investigation staff in 2023. And through the budget development cycle, added 4 additional permanent investigators in 2024. This additional staffing did support the demands of the volume at the frontline investigation stage. With the continued growth of volume of complaints, college staff have developed a plan for a more complete request of additional staff. The request included additional staff at the intake stage, as well as the leadership level, to support moving active files from frontline investigation to completion, and then on to the investigation committee for their disposition. This more complete plan and staffing capacity supports the full investigations process and will enable the college to meet reasonable and efficient timelines for disposition. Now, this is good news for the public interest, and it's also good news for members in terms of procedural fairness. College staff are extremely appreciative of the support of the council with this plan. Finally, I would like to speak to our 4th goal, a clear and independent role in the education system. The college's mandate is defined by legislation. However, we know we can do more to strengthen and promote the profession while staying within our mandate. The college's core responsibilities place us in a unique position to contribute positively to the betterment of publicly funded education in Ontario through the teaching profession. One of the opportunities that arose from this position is our newly updated Focus on Teaching survey that was distributed to all OCTs in good standing last month. It is available for completion until November 4th. The survey is voluntary and it's designed to take approximately 10 minutes. All data gathered by the survey will be anonymized and aggregated. Individual privacy will be protected at all times. The survey is your opportunity to make your voice heard, completely free of personal or professional risk. The data grows more reliable with every teacher who completes it. So I'm asking my fellow OCTs to join me in lending their professional experiences to this important initiative. Development of this survey was led by Keisha Lewis, the college's change management project lead. Keisha will join us now to provide more detail on the survey's development and objectives. Over to you, Keisha.
Thank you, Linda. And thank you to everyone who is joining us this evening. In 2023, the college launched the first Focus on Teaching survey to all OCTs in good standing. The strategy and content of this survey were developed by college staff as a proof of concept. The data gathered and the report that resulted showed the value and potential of this concept. Our objective for 2024 was to improve the survey to gather relevant data that may help decision makers in the education system to address the teacher shortage in Ontario's French and English school boards, support equity, diversity, and inclusion in the profession, support career progression opportunities for OCTs, and continue to track the professional experiences of OCTs. To achieve that, we partnered with Forum Research Inc., a trusted organization in the Canadian research field. To create a survey that truly reflects the profession, we gathered varied insights from OCTs through focus groups held over the summer. These discussions highlighted 3 key themes expressed by OCTs: the impactful role of teachers, concerns about the perceived decline of the teaching profession's status and impact, and a strong desire for meaningful change. The diversity of perspectives and experiences garnered from focus group participants influenced the content of the survey. Participants valued the opportunity to offer their feedback on the survey. One OCT who participated in a focus group had this to say about the survey and its development. The team effort to improve the clarity of the survey questions was beneficial because it involved key stakeholders, including teachers. Their participation in designing and crafting the questions was essential for fostering a culture of active listening and continuous improvement. End quote. Focus on Teaching is uniquely positioned to serve as a voice of the profession because it is the only survey that is available to all OCTs regardless of where they live or work. The survey is open for all OCTs in good standing until November 4 at 11:59 p.m. Your feedback is vital in strengthening the profession, and it contributes to safe, supportive learning environments for Ontario's 2 million students. Thank you for making the time and for being a part of this important initiative. I will now turn things back to Diana for an update on the college's financials.
Thank you, Keisha. Now I'm delivering this financial update on behalf of the Audit and Finance Subcommittee. The role of the Audit and Finance Subcommittee is to monitor and report to Council on the financial activities of the college. They also recommend to Council an annual budget, the appointment of an auditor, and the annual audited financial statements. Both the 2023 financial statements and the complete 2023 annual report are publicly available on the college's website at www.oct.ca. In addition, the subcommittee acts as the audit committee of the college for the purpose of reviewing the annual audit scope, the audit fees, and the audit findings. Tonight, we've talked about change and cost-effective adaptation. Efficient resource allocation requires a stable financial foundation. And based on KPMG's 2023 audit, the college's finances are fairly and accurately presented and reflect its financial position for the year ending December 31st, 2023. In addition, sound financial management enabled the college to keep the annual membership fee steady while also investing approximately $8.7 million in cash reserves to ensure we can continue operations and handle unexpected expenses and liabilities. The need for a stable cash reserve is detailed in the 2025 budget proposal, and this investment replenishes reserves the college drew on during the pandemic. The financial statements also reflect ongoing information technology needs, especially in cybersecurity, as the college takes proactive measures to protect our organization and its data from potential threats. This past October 1st, Council received a briefing on the proposed 2025 budget and will make a final budget decision at its December 12th meeting. The proposed 2025 budget supports essential programs and invests in staff and technology to address workload challenges, further improve service response times, and realize key strategic plan objectives. To address the increased workload at intake and investigations, which we spoke about earlier, new staff will be fully operational by early 2025. The anticipated costs for hiring 6 full-time employees will impact the 2025 budget by just over $800,000. Finally, I would like to close by thanking the Audit and Finance Subcommittee members for their contributions this year. The Chair of the Subcommittee, Jonathan Davey, the Vice Chair, Valerie Fontenelle, OCT, Maria Vassanelli, OCT, and Professor Jonathan Rose. Now, I believe that we have some time to answer questions that were submitted in advance of today's meeting. So, Linda.
Thank you, Diana. We will use our remaining time this evening to answer questions that were submitted by attendees in advance, but most of the questions we received can't be appropriately addressed in this meeting, mostly because they're related to individual files or to issues that are outside of our regulatory mandate. However, I did want to provide some general information that may be of help to those who did submit those questions. We received several questions related to employment, hiring, and salaries. Now, these topics are outside of our regulatory mandate and should be directed to school boards or other employers of OCTs. We also heard from retired teachers who had questions about working hours and how that may affect their pension. Unfortunately, that's not something that I or anyone else at the college can provide information on. Please direct questions about pensions to the Ontario Pension Plan. Plusieurs postulants ont posé des questions sur leur dossier. Notre site web contient une mine de renseignements sur les exigences de certification, les vérifications du casier judiciaire et les documents de certains pays, ainsi que d'autres conseils utiles. Nous tenons aussi des séances d'information à l'intention des enseignants qui ont suivi leur formation professionnelle hors de l'Ontario. Vous pouvez consulter l'horaire des prochaines séances et vous inscrire sur notre site web. Les postulants qui ont des questions sur un dossier particulier sont priés de communiquer avec notre équipe de service à la clientèle. Ces coordonnées et heures d'ouverture se trouvent sur notre site web à oeeo.ca. Nous avons aussi reçu des questions sur les délais de service et de certification. Ces questions sont également spécifiques à chaque dossier et il est vraiment préférable de s'adresser à notre service du service à la clientèle. There were questions related to the math proficiency test or the MPT. The MPT requirement was recently reintroduced by the provincial government and it takes effect on February 1st, 2025. The requirement applies differently depending on the cohort. You can find the details on our website. We also share detailed information packages with Ontario's faculties of education before the school year began. If you are enrolled in an Ontario Initial Teacher Education program, you may be able to also ask questions of faculty members for more information. It's important to note that the college does not facilitate or evaluate the math proficiency test. Any questions about the MPT itself should be directed to the Education Quality and Accountability Office, also known as EQAO. Nous avons reçu plusieurs questions concernant le curriculum et les documents connexes. Le curriculum ne fait pas partie de notre mandat réglementaire et il serait donc inapproprié pour moi ou tout autre représentant de l'ordre de commenter ce sujet. Les questions relatives au curriculum doivent être discutées au sein de l'école ou avec le ministère de l'Éducation. Some people asked if we are considering a lower annual membership fee for supply teachers or for teachers who are retired. That is not something we are considering at this time. The fee pays for a license to teach. It is fairer and more cost-effective for the college to levy the same fee for all teachers who wish to maintain their membership in good standing. I'll also note that our annual membership fee is among the lowest of any regulator. That was a lot of information, but I wanted to address the wide range of topics we received questions about. Now we will turn our attentions to individual questions that we can provide answers for. The first was a question from an individual asking about the roles of principals and vice principals during college investigations. Issues related to investigations and discipline are always complex and they must be treated with care. If you are watching this evening's meeting, I encourage you to contact our investigations and professional conduct team to discuss this issue further. Our next question: what work is being done with teacher colleges to ensure teachers requesting certification have adequate EDI training in terms of anti-oppression, human rights, special education, discrimination as part of their core program? That's a great question and an important one for a province that's as diverse as Ontario. The college's accreditation committee only grants accreditation to teacher education programs that satisfy specific requirements. Those requirements include much of what is listed in your question. For example, accredited programs must provide teacher candidates with an understanding of current provincial curriculum and policies that are related to special education, equity, and diversity, as well as learning, assessment, and evaluation. Furthermore, all Ontario teacher candidates must complete a minimum of 80 classroom practicum days, during which they are mentored and assessed by OCTs. This combination of theory and practice helps prepare teacher candidates for diverse learning environments across Ontario. You can also find more information about the accreditation, including the results of cyclical program reviews on our website. Our next question. The college has heard delegations on the importance of parent and guardian engagement and the role teachers play in ensuring the classroom is connected to the home. Will the revision of the professional standards for Ontario teachers include this area? Our existing standards stress the importance of professional relationships with parents and guardians. That is a vital principle we intend to keep as we develop new standards for the profession. I can also confirm that parents and guardians, as well as other members of the public, will have opportunities to provide input into our professional standards review. Parents, guardians, and other members of the public can subscribe to our public newsletter, The Standard, for the latest information. Our next question is related to the College Council, so I will turn it over to Diane.
Thank you, Linda. And the question is, when is there going to be further discussions about the number of members on the College Council and their status as Ontario certified teachers? Specifically, Ontario teachers are the only professional association where government appointees outnumber actual members of the association. I would like to know how to be part of future discussions or to have the ability to make a presentation to Council before future decisions about the makeup of this organization. So let me begin this answer by clarifying that the college is not a professional association. It is a regulator mandated through legislation to protect the public interest. College Council is actually equally balanced between Ontario certified teachers and members of the public. If you are interested in applying for a council position, I'd certainly encourage you to visit the college website for more information, including the selection criteria. There are also other ways to get involved in college governance beyond council. In fact, council's current composition was adopted as part of a broader modernization that provides OCTs with increased opportunities to get involved in college governance by applying for a committee or a roster position. And those details are also available on the college website.
Thank you, Diana. Our next question is about data collection. Does the College of Teachers collect any data on the number of teachers who self-identify as having a disability? Thank you for this question because it is a timely one. The Focus on Teaching survey that Keisha discussed earlier does collect this data along with other demographics OCTs self-identify with. It is common for us to receive questions like this, whether from employers, OCT, and media, or the public. That is part of what inspired us to launch an updated survey of the profession. There's clearly a need for this data, and the college is well positioned to gather it. The last two questions we have were submitted in French. À quel moment les nouveaux membres à l'ordre commencent à payer leurs contributions annuelles? Au moment où l'ordre les a acceptés ou au moment qu'ils reçoivent un salaire dans un conseil scolaire? Le paiement de la cotisation annuelle est nécessaire pour compléter votre certification initiale avec l'ordre. La cotisation couvre l'année civile pour laquelle elle est versée et n'est pas calculée au prorata. Par exemple, si vous payez votre cotisation annuelle 2024 aujourd'hui, elle couvrira votre autorisation d'enseigner jusqu'à la fin de cette année. Vous devrez ensuite payer la totalité de la cotisation 2025 le 1er janvier. Et la dernière question. Pourquoi l'ordre écrit-elle des accusations d'agression sexuelle ou voies de fait sur le site du membre avant même qu'il ne soit jugé coupable. N'est-ce pas une atteinte à sa réputation? Le rôle en tant qu'organisme de réglementation est de protéger l'intérêt du public. Et la transparence est essentielle à cet égard. Lorsqu'un enseignant agréé de l'Ontario fait l'objet d'accusations criminelles qui ont trait à sa capacité d'enseigner, la loi provinciale exige que nous affichions les détails et ces accusations dans le tableau public. And that concludes our Q&A session. I hope you found tonight's meeting informative, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the coming year holds, both for the profession and for its regulator. I'll close with a note of thanks to everyone who joined us this evening, and a special thanks to all our Ontario certified teachers who dedicate their careers to supporting students' learning and well-being. The entire province is enriched by your daily contributions, and our gratitude is immeasurable. Good night. Bonsoir à tous. And I hope you can join us again at our 2025 annual meeting of members. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.